Hello YouTube friends, and welcome back to Renee Anita B. I have another What Sold video for you. These are some items that sold during the month of March. Please keep in mind that I do offer free shipping on all of my items. I incorporate that into the cost of the item. Most of my items are shipped first class, so the shipping is approximately $4 to $5 per item. The first item was a vintage 1986 Hallmark Shamrock cookie cutter. I paid 18 cents for this at my local thrift store. I received several offers, there was lots of negotiating going on, but I saw that the interested buyer was located in Oregon. I knew the shipping charges were going to be higher, so I stuck pretty tight to the price that I originally had it listed. We finally agreed on the price, and it sold for $9. The next item was a vintage shamrock planter vase. I paid $1.49 for this at my local thrift store. I had passed on it during a previous visit. But as I've mentioned in my videos before, St. Patrick's Day themed items always sell well for me. So when I saw this item still there during a 25% off sale, I went ahead and grabbed it. It sold for the full asking price of $29.94. Yikes! It was another item that shipped to Oregon, so the shipping cost on this one was $11.62. That did cut into the profit a bit, but I was still able to net a $10 profit. The next item was a Case International Harvester metal belt buckle. I paid $2.99 for this at a Goodwill in Minnesota while pet sitting for our kids. It was still new in the package. It sold for the full asking price of $19.94. The next item was a set of 2 Easter Bunny figurines with jeweled eggs. I picked these up at 2 separate visits to my local thrift store. I probably paid about 74 cents each for them, so I have just under $1.50 invested. I accepted an offer and they sold for $11.94. The next item was a set of 6 vintage leprechaun cupcake picks. As soon as I saw these, I grabbed them, because just a couple months prior to this, I had sold some vintage Halloween cupcake picks. I paid 37 cents for these at my local thrift store. Someone sent me an offer almost immediately after I listed it. I usually decline those offers when it's a new listing, because I'm always curious to see if I have it in the right price range. I saw that there were several watchers. I had lowered the price a little when I relisted it. I finally accepted an offer and they sold for $14.94. The next item was a set of 2 round wicker baskets with green wooden handles. These were something that I had in my store for a long time, so I wouldn't suggest purchasing them. I maybe paid about 68 cents each for these at my local thrift store. I had had them for such a long time, I was even considering putting them out on my garage sale this summer. And just like that, they sold, and someone paid the full asking price of $19.94. The next item was a Yankee Candle silver reindeer tea light holder. I paid $1.98 for this at my local thrift store, and it sold for the full asking price of $24.94. The next item was a set of 3 vintage Hallmark Merry Miniatures Christmas Caroler figures. I bought a bulk lot of these off of eBay for $50. Making the cost of goods about 70 cents per item, so I have about $2.10 invested. This is the second lot to sell. I accepted an offer and they sold for $15. The next item was a set of 6 Lillian Vernon painted wooden Easter eggs. I paid $1.99 for these at my local thrift store. I sent an offer to an interested buyer and they sold for $18.94. The next item was a Susie Skoglund orange striped tabby cat figurine. I paid 38 cents for this at my local thrift store. It sold within minutes of listing it for the full asking price of $24.94. The next item was a vintage copper-colored metal turkey cookie cutter. I paid 18 cents for this at my local thrift store. I sent an offer to an interested buyer and it sold for $9.44. The next item was a pack of Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants novelty playing cards. These were brand new in a sealed package. I picked them up at a mom and pop thrift shop in Minnesota while pet sitting for my kids, and they sold for the full asking price of $14.94. Oddly enough, the buyer lived in Minnesota, almost in the same location that I purchased them. The next item was a set of 3 Pampered Chef plastic kids cookie cutters. I paid $1 for a bag full of miscellaneous kitchen gadgets at a garage sale. These were a few of the items that were in that bag. They sold for the full asking price of $14.94. The next item was a set of 2 vintage metal Easter cookie cutters, a rabbit and a chick. This was the second lot of these that I sold this spring. I paid 15 cents each for these at my local thrift store, and they sold for the full asking price of $11.94. So don't pass up those metal cookie cutters when you see them at garage sales for cheap. The next item was a set of vintage 1993 Nickelodeon Loose Valentines from the animated TV series Doug. I paid $3 for a box full of vintage Valentines. These were a few that I pulled out of that box and lotted together. I accepted an offer and they sold for $12. The next item was a set of 6 vintage Raspberry metal Easter playground pieces with flocked bunnies and chicks. I paid $1.97 for these at my local thrift store. I accepted an offer and they sold for $22. The next item was a set of 4 Dayton's ceramic white bunny napkin rings. I picked these up on my very first visit ever to a Goodwill outlet store, the Bins, while visiting my daughter in Minnesota. I paid $1.69 a pound for these. They only weigh about 10 ounces, so I have even less than that invested in them. There was actually a set of 12, so I lotted them up into 3 groups of 4. I accepted an offer, and this group sold for $22. The next item was a set of 3 vintage flocked Easter miniatures. There were 2 bunnies and a duck. I probably have about $3 invested in these. I found them at several different thrift stores. I lotted them together because they were similar. I accepted an offer and they sold for $14. The last item was a Jell-O Easter egg mold. It was the only one that I had this year. My sister gave this to me for my birthday last year because she knows how much I like to sell these. So I have nothing invested in it, and it sold for the full asking price of $19.94. I am hoping to find some at garage sales this summer. Hopefully you saw something here you might be on the lookout for the next time you're out thrifting. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you'd like to help me reach my goal of 100 subscribers, go ahead and click that little red subscribe button down below. With that being said, as of today, my subscriber count is 51. So thank you so much if you've recently subscribed, and if you've been a longtime subscriber, thank you. I'd like to offer a very heartfelt thank you to my newest subscribers, Lutino and Degans TV. Hopefully I've pronounced those names correctly. And also a thank you to all of the subscribers who prefer to remain anonymous. I've changed up my videos just a little bit. You'll see a few more vlog type videos as I'm doing a Spring in Wisconsin series. If you're interested in vlog type videos, go ahead and check them out. I'll have those linked below. The first item was an excuse me, got a frog. The next item was a vintage shamrock, and it sold for the full asking price of did not. Quit lying. Be truthful. I accepted an offer and they sold for $12. No, they didn't. The next item was a lot of 6 vintage, not shamrock, leprechaun. The cost per piece ended up being 70 cents, so I have about $1.40 invested. No, $2.10. This is the second lot to sell. I accepted an offer and they sold for $14.19. No, they didn't. That's what the first lot sold for. The next item was a Susie Skoglund orange tabby. Oh my gosh. The next item was a vintage copper-colored metal. Oddly enough, they went back to Minnesota. I paid 50 cents. I paid 15 cents each. The next item was a set of, and they sold for the full asking price of $11.90. No, they didn't. The next item was a set of 6 Rustberry metal playground. I paid $1.69 a pound for these at my. Come on, you got this, girl. You're almost done. Shoot. I picked them up at I accepted an offer and they sold for $4. Yeah. With that being said, I'd like to offer a very heartfelt thanks. If you're interested in vlog type oh my gosh. Thanks so much for watching. As always, from my heart to yours, share love, not hate. Have a wonderful day.